Most of us, at the end of the night when we sleep, we have this one wish. I wish the day was more than 24 hours. Most of us have a laid-back attitude when it comes to painting a picture about ourselves. At the end of the night, we realize that we have not done something or that we have not completed it. For example, we have not exercised, we have not read the book we would like to read, when we have not had time to watch our favorite movies or series, we have no time left to talk to family members, and so on. Now, how do you imagine the geniuses of the world setting their time? How did they balance their professional work with their rest time, or what did they probably give up in order to get to meet their main job? In this video, we want to talk about how geniuses organize their time. Subscribe our YouTube channel to watch the rest of this video and more. Gustave Flaubert was one of the most influential writers of 19th century France and one of the world's greatest novelists. He has inspired writers such as Émile Zola and Alphonse Daudet. Flaubert's works are quite unique in French literature because of their meticulousness and careful selection of words, literary arrays, and literary aesthetics in general. His perfectionism was such that he spent weeks writing a page, and as a result left few works during his writing years. After writing, he reads the works aloud in his office, which he calls the very loud room, to gauge the weight, melody, and effect of words and sentences. As you can see, he worked on Madame Bovary's novel between 9 and 3 p.m. and then went to bed until 10 a.m. He studied for 5 hours every day and made time for his family. Then it is Beethoven, who does not need to be explained and introduced. The things that are interesting about him are 8 hours of sleep a night, the importance of breakfast, morning work that lasted until 2 o'clock in the evening, and another interesting thing was that he took time to walk. Apparently ideas came to Beethoven's mind while walking, so he always had a pencil and paper with him. The interesting thing about Mozart is that he only slept 5 hours a night and wrote his masterpieces twice in the morning and at night. Another notable thing is that he spent an hour every morning getting dressed and groomed. Sigmund Freud had 6 hours of sleep a night. He psychoanalyzed his patients for 4 hours in the morning and he worked for 6 hours in the evenings, reading and writing articles for 2.5 hours at the end of the night. Immanuel Kant was one of the most famous philosophers of the 18th century. Kant had an exceptional order in life. He did everything at his own time and did not violate it in the slightest. It was a common saying among the people of the city, "You can adjust your watch with Kant's work." He slept between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. and worked from 6 in the morning. His food and walks were done in a special order. The work calendar of Balzac, the famous French novelist, is very different from the other greats we have examined so far. He sleeps between 6 p.m. and 1 p.m., then he wrote between 1 at night and 8 in the morning. He took a nap for an hour and a half and then wrote again until 4 p.m. Victor Hugo started his morning by reading his mistress' letters and eating 2 raw eggs, bathing in an ice bath around noon, and wrote between 6 and 8 p.m. Charles Dickens was also a morning laborer, doing his personal chores in the evenings and spending time with family and friends. Charles Darwin slept between midnight and 7 in the morning. He walks first thing in the morning and eats breakfast alone. He worked until noon later, and in the evenings he would do most of his personal work, and then between 10 and 12 o'clock in the evening in bed, he would think about the questions that had risen in his mind and try to solve them. Benjamin Franklin was one of the founders of the United States. Franklin was a scientist, prominent writer and printer, satirist, political theorist, politician, postmaster, inventor, civil activist, and diplomat. As a scientist, he is one of the great figures in the American Enlightenment and the history of physics for his discoveries and theories about electricity, lightning rods, binoculars, a Franklin stove, odometer, and harmonica glass are some of his inventions. He also established the first public library in the United States and the first Pennsylvania fire station. He worked between 8 and 12 in the morning and 2 to 6 in the evening. As you saw, getting a good night's sleep is one of the keys to success. Most of them made good use of the early hours of the morning, paying special attention to breakfast, and doing most or all of their work in the morning. Another important thing was to spend many hours focused on their work. In the next videos, we're gonna talk about nowadays geniuses organizing times.